Sicha from Tafshin on Aleph, Sichas Parshas Emor, and the Rebbe is going to speak totally about the idea that he always likes to emphasize about the difference between Geulah, exile, and Geulah, redemption, is just the insertion of the letter Aleph. By inserting the letter Aleph into the word Geulah, you turn it into Geulah. And the Rebbe is going to take this idea and really run with it in this sikha, really elaborate upon it, what exactly this Aleph is. And the Rebbe is going to explain three different aspects and components of this Aleph, and how we're inserting it into the Geulah and transforming it into Geulah. And he's also going to connect it in the other half of the sikh, which we're probably going to learn next week, about has to do with the David Amalek and Shlomo and Moshiach, all three different eras. All it is about taking the Aleph and bringing it into Geulah and transforming it to Geulah. The Rebbe says, in continuation, what the Rebbe spoke the Shabbos before this Shabbos Parshas Achri Kedoshim, he spoke about being in Hageulah, concerning the Geulah, Shamila Geulah. The word Geulah, Oisius Geulah, B'Toisius Aleph. It's the letters of the same word of Geulah, exile, with an additional letter Aleph that turns into redemption. Madgisha is Teichen HaGeulah. It emphasizes the content of redemption. Yoiser Medalid Hey Al Shoinish Geulah, more than the 4 or 5 other expressions of redemption. That, for example, we know the 4 cups of wine are corresponding to what it says. And so on, that we say that there's different expressions of Geulah, all of these things do not contain the message that the word Geulah has, because Geulah has this insertion of the Aleph into Geulah. The Rebbe said that there's 2 points in this idea of Aleph being inserted in Geulah. Aleph, 1 point is Hageulah Michal Inyani Hagolos Geulah, the redemption of all matters of exile. Geulah Loishay Lelas Asavoid the Begolos. Redemption does not negate the avoiding goals. It includes and elevates the exile. Through inserting and revealing the Aleph, that the letter Aleph stands for the master of the world, the Alufay Shaloilam. They're inserting it into the Geulah, meaning we are revealing, we are manifesting how Hashem it owns and runs all matters of the world, also in exile. That's what Geulah is about, to reveal that Aleph of Hashem, that He is in charge, He's running the world. Base, a second point that we have from the fact that the Aleph transforms the Geulah to Geulah. Geulah nasis aidei havoida begol. The redemption is accomplished through our service and our work in exile. Just like the word Geulah is built, meaning the majority of the letters of the word Geulah is from the letters of the word Geulah. The only difference is between Geulah and Geulah is we're adding an Aleph. That means the Geulah itself contributes and brings to a state of Geulah, meaning we're not just revealing Hashem that's in the state of Geulah, but also the Geulah itself is contributing and making up what will be in the times of the Geulah. That was mainly the points that the Rebbe discussed in the previous week's Pabrik. Now, in this Akiv Oid Aloid Kam in the Kudus Bezeh, we will take some time we'll spend some time on some more points concerning this. They will add explanation and more elaboration in the avoid of Yid that Yidden have to do while they're standing prior to the Geula, right on the cusp, right at the eve of Geula. Base. Hiddush al Geula, the uniqueness of the redemption. Ha'isafa v'gilui ha'alef b'goyla, the addition and the revelation of the letter Aleph in the exile. Ub'shnei ha'inyanim ha'niskarim la'el, and the two matters that we mentioned before, that Hashem is revealed in the exile, and that the exile itself contributes to the Geula. So both of these points, Roy Miyad, we see immediately Begeula Harishoina in the first redemption, Umakir the Chala Geulos, and the source of all redemptions. As we know, Mitzrayim's redemption, Mitzrayim is the source for all following redemption, which is Geulas Mitzrayim, the redemption from Mitzrayim. We see this idea, these two ideas there. The redemption expressed itself in the fact, in addition to the fact that all the Jewish people left Egypt, and the pasuk says, with our youth and our elderly and our sons and our daughters, they were not completely, meaning with all their possessions, with all their possessions, all their mashakasav, similar to what it says about Mashiach's times. It says that their silver and gold will escort them out of gold. So, in addition to all of this, lakhu itam, the Jewish people, when they left Mitzrayim, took with them the gol, and they redeemed. Gam esein the goyla, also matters that belong to the exile, to Golus Mitzrayim, the exile of Mitzrayim. Where do we see this? It says, by Yishalum Mitzrayim, they borrowed from Egypt, like chesed, zav, smallest, silver items, gold items, and clothing. Vayinatzlu. What does Vayinatzlu mean? Viroikinu. They emptied out as Mitzrayim. They totally made it empty. And the Chazal explained, what does that mean? They made it like a silo that has no grain, like a net without fish. And not only that, also the mixed multitude went up with them. What does that indicate? What does that show? It wasn't just the Jewish people that were redeemed. Mitzrayim itself, the Golus itself, was transformed at the state of Geula. This means the redemption was not just leaving Mitzrayim, going out of Mitzrayim. And the Geula, the Gam, the Mitzrayim, Geulah Atzma, it was the redemption also of Mitzrayim itself, the exile itself. And how did that take place? Through inserting and revealing the Aleph, which means the master of the world in matters of Golas, which means that we reveal the Tachlis Brias Varim Eloi de HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We reveal what was the goal and purpose of all these items that the Egyptians owned. What was the purpose that they were all created by Hashem? Unisinasam, and the reason they were given Mitzrayim. What was revealed then was Bechdei Shebnei Yisrael Yivareru Oisam. It's so that the Jewish people should refine them. And how will the Jewish people refine and elevate them? Mitzrayim, through emptying out Mitzrayim and taking this all with them. And that through this will be fulfilled what Hashem told Avram Avinu by the covenant between the parts, that after your children will be in exile by a nation that of the servitude and so on, they will go out with great wealth. And to such a degree, that Hashem placed favor in the nation of the Jewish people in the eyes of the Egyptians, and they were so beloved at that time by the Egyptians. Vayash ilum. So the Chazal explained, why does it say Vayash ilum? Usually you don't talk about the lender doing the lending. You speak about the borrower borrowing. The fact that it says Vayash ilum So the Chazal learn out something deeper from it. And they say, Af mashaloi hoyu shoyelim ha'amoyin noismah. Even things that they didn't even request, the Egyptians gave them. Hamitzrim bi'atzmam. In other words, the Egyptians themselves volunteered and say, here, take this, take that, take the other thing. Even more so, Melamed Sheish Ilum Bar Korcha. This pasuk teaches us that they loaned them by force. And Chazal explained, what type of force are we talking about? Bal Korcham the Israel. It was by force of the Yidden. In other words, the Yidden were like saying, what do you want? I have what I need. No, they were pushing stuff on them and giving them more stuff. So the Rebbe explained, what's the meaning behind all this? Seemingly, Allah, first of all, first of all, why did the Egyptians rush to give their own items, their own possessions, their own vessels to someone else? This is unnatural. A normal person wants to keep their own things. Second thing is, they will borrow a man from his fellow. That command was a mitzvah on the Yidden to do. The Yidden had a mitzvah to borrow from the Egyptians. It wasn't a mitzvah on the Egyptians to do it. So again, what was pushing the Egyptians to do this? Gimel. Third thing is, after Hashem broke the Egyptians through the 10 Makkahs, while all of a sudden now, suddenly was the approach of the Egyptians that they borrowed from the Egyptians. All of a sudden here Hashem placed the favor of the nation within the eyes of the Egyptians, and they loaned them, and not through breaking them. In other words, the entire process up till now was through breaking the Egyptians. Here, all of a sudden, when it came to lending it, Hashem could have used other means of breaking them that they would loan it. No. Over here, the way it was done was the Egyptians saw the Jews as being someone who they should lend it to. Why was that necessary over here at this point in time, at this point in the Geulah? So the reason is, for the very reason that we said before, that Geulah is about taking the Golus itself along into the redemption. That it means also the redemption and the ascent from Egypt, the exile itself. And how is that done? It has to be through the manifestation of the letter Aleph. Through recognition that Hashem is the master of the world and runs the world. And the Egyptians, since many of them were wise people, they understood and they felt this eventually after the entire process of what went on prior to that. And those that did not see this on their own, their source above saw this, and therefore they had this urge that they couldn't even explain why, to give the Yidden what they were supposed to be given. And the Egyptians knew that I am Hashem. That's the meaning of the Aleph of Geulah being inserted into the Golus, that there was a manifestation of Hashem in the world that made them aware. Therefore, it had to be done. And actuality was accomplished. Not against the wishes of the Egyptians. The Egyptians weren't forced and coerced into loaning the Jewish people all these items. It was done by the will of the Egyptians that they wanted to do. In addition to the actions that the Yidden took, that they actually approached the Egyptians and borrowed and asked for it, in such a way that the Egyptians gave it to them. Hashem Nasan, Hashem gave us chen ha'am, the favor of the nation, be'ein Mitzrayim, in the eyes of the Egyptians. To such a degree that even that which was not requested from by the Eden from the Egyptians, they would give them from the Israel, even if they had to force the Eden to take. We see also in this the second idea of Geulah, that the word Geulah is put together from the word Goyla. He just added the letter Aleph, but the main makeup of the word Geulah is Goyla. Only through the descent and the exile of Egypt. They enslaved them and they made them suffer. Nifala Aliyah's godless V'Gulas Mitzrayim was affected, the ascent and the growth and the increase and the redemption of Egypt. In such a way that afterwards they came out of Mitzrayim or the Goar Mitzrayim with great wealth. And if our forefathers would not have descended to Mitzrayim, the Mitzrayim, they would not have received and elevate and refine those silver vessels and the golden vessels and the clothing of the Egyptians. From this is also understood for all the redemptions that are similar to and are derived from and are an outcome of the redemption of Mitzrayim. Ad, until and including the Geulah Mitzvah Shlema, the true and complete redemption. Concerning the complete redemption, it says, like your days going out of the land of Mitzrayim, I will show you wonders. That is called a redemption. Why is it called redemption? For the two reasons that we said before. First of all, it's about redeeming and to elevate matters of the exile through revealing it the master of the world. And based, it's only through the Geulah that we reach the Geulah. Just like only if you have the letters Gimel, Vav, Lamed, Hey, can you have the word Geulah. So that is all a further elaboration on this Aleph inserted into Geulah, how we see it by the Gulas Mitzrayim, and how it's going to be all the way and including the future redemption. Now the Rebbe is going to say that seemingly there's so much more to Geulah than that. Oizgin. We need to understand. In addition to the fact that through the redemption of Mitzrayim was affected the revelation of the master of the world in Mitzrayim, as we said, the pasuk V'yed Mitzrayim K'ani Hashem, that Egypt will know that I am Hashem. That's one of the reasons why Hashem had to bring all the makkahs. If Hashem just wanted to miraculously take the Eden out of Mitzrayim, there would have been many other ways to do it. You didn't have to go through this entire production of bringing 10 makkahs and so on. There was a lot of ways how the Abishah could have done it. But rather, the purpose of the makkahs was to bring an awareness of Hashem to the Egyptians. And that means, we wanted to make the Egyptians aware. In other words, in the Golos should be the awareness of the Aleph Alufishal Olam, that Hashem is the owner and the one that runs the world. But in addition to that, that's not the only thing that occurred by the Geulah of Mitzrayim. It's not only the revelation of Alufishal Olam. There was so much more things. Were affected even higher things to the Yidden. You had you had the revelation of the King of Kings of Hashem, and he redeemed them. In his very glory and essence, the very essence of Hashem, which we're going to explain, that's higher than just him being Alufish Aloilam. Alufish Aloilam is only the level that has to do with being clothed in the world and dealing with the world, but what was revealed to the Yidden then was an aspect of Hashem that's beyond the world. To such a degree that the intention in going out of Mitzrayim is the giving of the Torah. Like Moshe Rabbeinu was told when he was first given the mission to take the Yidden out of Mitzrayim, he was told by Tziachas Mitzrayim, when you take the Yidden out of Mitzrayim, you will serve Hashem on this mountain, which means what will be then? What is the goal of Yitzias Mitzrayim? The revelation that I am Hashem, your God, that took you out of Mitzrayim. In such a manner that face to face Hashem spoke with you. It's much higher than the revelation of how Hashem is the boss of the world, the master of the world, how Hashem creates the world and runs it. In the beginning, Hashem created the heavens and the earth. As it's known, Torah preceded the world. It preceded also in level that it's beyond the world. So therefore, if the entire purpose of going out of Mitzrayim is Matan Torah, and Matan Torah is about the Torah which is higher in the world, so it's much more than the Aleph of Alufei Shaloilam that we're doing and bringing into the Geulah to transform it into Geulah. In the footnote that Rebbe also brings down, that where it says of Chassidus, that's why it says that Anoich Hashem L'kecha Asher Tzicha Meretz Mitzrayim. It doesn't say Anoich Hashem L'kecha Asher Barosi Shemayim V'Aretz. Why didn't Hashem introduce himself that way by saying, I am Hashem, your God, that created heavens and earth? Because the level of Hashem's manifesting himself in Matan Torah was much more than just the revelation of the creation. So therefore, if it's much more than the level of creation, why we speak about the Aleph, Alufei Shaloilam, seemingly that's not the ultimate. And that was by going out of Mitzrayim. How much more so when we're speaking about the true and complete redemption through Moshiach, that's for sure a level of way beyond just being Alufei Shaloilam Shaz Yeh Noisav Ala Gilish Alufei Shaloilam B'Chol Abriya. Then it will be in addition to the revelation of the Master of the world and the entire creation. There will be Gilei L'Kus Shalamayla Me'Abriya. There will be the revelation of godliness ways beyond creation. Chassidus associates it with what it says Eila Toldus Peretz Mole. The word Toldus, when it says that Yehuda gave birth to Peretz, and afterwards Peretz's offspring, it says the word Toldus with both vavs written in. Sometimes the word Toldus can be written as if with one vav, with 0 vavs, sometimes it can be written with 2 vavs. It's Mole, in other words. Because it shagavoya yoisim amoli the ela tells Hashemayim vars the baram olam amelui nivra. It also says Toldos by the creation of the world, by the heavens and the earth. And over there, the Toldos over there, Mole, teaching you the world was created complete. But it's not like the ela Toldos Peretz. Peretz is the forerunner of Mashiach, the great ancestor of Mashiach, is a much higher level of Toldos. Till there be such a novel revelation that's incomparable to the state in whether it's the exile in Babel or the exile in Madai or the present goal is Hein Ba'olam. They'll be both in the world, different world. Chiddush Ma'aser Bereishis, the creation will change. Hineni Boile Shemayim Chadashim Varetz Chadash. It says in the Navi, behold, I'm creating a new heavens and a new earth. And also it says a different pasuk, Shemayim Chadashim Varetz Chadash, the new heavens and the new earth that I'm making, is also says that in the Navi. So we see that the world will be completely different than now. The Hein Begilei L'Kus, also the revelation of godliness would be of a totally different caliber. Hagili the Pnimius Atik, which in Kabbalah speaks about the revelation of the inner level of Keser, the inner level of Atik. Ad L'Gilui D'Atzmus Yisbarach Lamata, to will have revelation of Hashem's very essence down here below, Ba'adir Lo Yisbarach Tachtoinim, in the home down here below for the Eibishter. So again, it's much more than just revealing how Hashem is just the master of the world. The being just inserting the Aleph seems to not do justice to the true revelation that eventually took place with Mitzrayim, with Matan Torah, and eventually is going to take place with Mashiach. And the Rebbe goes on to explain about the great revelations of Mashiach's times, until the entire business of the world when Mashiach comes will be only to know Hashem. Therefore, Yidden will be great sages. They will know concealed matters. They'll comprehend the mind of the Creator as much as humanly possible. Like it says, that the earth will be filled with the knowledge of Hashem, like the waters cover the sea. For us, and then there'll be a new insight in Torah. How come? Just like we know that the reason there had to be the exile of Mitzrayim, and then eventually we came out of exile, that was a preparation for the giving of the Torah. So too, the true and complete redemption will bring the true and will bring about a novel and a new type of Torah. Gili Pnimius HaTorah, the revelation of the inner part of Torah. Soi Tamel Mr. Tzvonisel, the secrets of its reasons and its concealed matters. Ad Torah Chadosh Mititates, until we say that a new Torah will come out from Hashem. And we've learned, I think, before that this is the reason why our goal is so much longer, because of this greater and higher level of Torah that will be revealed when Mashiach comes. So therefore, the Rebbe concludes this question, since all these matters, the higher revelation of godliness and the higher revelation of Torah, they are incomparably higher than the revelation now of the Master of the world. These are all part of the redemption. What's going to happen? The greater revelation of godliness is called redemption. The greater part of Torah is going to be called redemption. The world being a totally different and new world is also part of redemption. We must say, it's all hinted in the word Geulah, that's made up from the letters Geulah with the additional letter Aleph. So in other words, the Rebbe is saying we can't just say, since all of these great and awesome things that will take place and that even took place in Mitzrayim are part of the name Geulah. So therefore, if it's all part of the name Geulah, so that means that Aleph that we're adding to the Geulah must include not just the Hashem being revealed as Master of the world, but all these awesome things about the world being transformed and the highest levels of Hashem being revealed and the greatest levels in Torah. All of this is included in this Aleph that's being inserted into the word Geulah to make it Geulah. But the Rebbe is going to explain this by adding further meanings to the letter Aleph. The letter Aleph not only hints at Alufish Elohim, the Master of the world, but it hints at other things as well. Oizdal. Here is the explanation. This is the Ois Aleph Shemitvasefes b'Mila Geula Geulah. The letter Aleph that's added in the word Geula over the word Geulah, which is missing the letter Aleph. Yeshnam Kama Pirushim. There are many meanings. Aleph is Aleph Melashon Aluf. Aluf Shalom. One is from the word on Aluf. Aluf means the Master of the world. Beis, second meaning of the word Aleph, Aleph Lashon Ulfana V'Limud. The Aleph is from the word Ulfana, which also means study. In modern Israel, you come over there and you want to learn Ivrit, they send you to an Ulpan. Ulpan is from the word learning and study. And we see this in a pasuk. It says, Aleph Chachma, Aleph Bina. That's what it says in Iyuv. I will teach you. Chachma, I will teach you Bina. So we see the word Aleph means teaching, learning. Gimel, a third meaning in the word, in the letter Aleph, or word Aleph. Oisius Pele. The letters Aleph, Lamed, Pei. If we switch it around, it means wonder. Rebbe goes on to say, by avoid the lafachas Hagolus Geulah Geula, and the avoid of transforming the exile, which is the word Geulah, into the word Geula. Yeshna Mechlalos Shloishin Yanim Sholish Dargis Shlom. In general, there are three matters, three levels, 3 stages. One stage, one level, is about revealing godliness within, and that level of godliness that has some type of relationship with the world. That's the level that we've been talking about up till now, the Aleph as Alufi Shaloilam, the master of the world. That's level number one. Then there's another level. There's a revelation of godliness that's beyond the world. But still, even though it's beyond the world, and therefore it's beyond the definition of Alufei Shaloilam, it still has some type of comparison and relationship to the world. And what is the bridge or the bringing of that level of godliness that's beyond the world? This is specifically so and uniquely so. I did Torah shekadma lo'olam, through the Torah that preceded the world. Ulfana, Torah is the learning. Ulfana, the Gila l'kushalamay l'gamran olam ba'ofen mufla umufla. Then there's a third stage and level of the Geula, which is also hinted in the letter Aleph, related to the word Pella, the revelation of godliness that's totally beyond the world, in a wondrously and completely removed level. Well, B'myuchad, this is specifically accomplished where and what's the tool and the channel for bringing down this greater level of godliness that's beyond the world. The wonders of Hashem, they are channeled and revealed through the wonders of the Torah, meaning the inner secrets of the Torah. Galu begula mitzvah shlema, that will become revealed in the true and complete redemption, the level of Pella, the wondrous level of the future redemption. So the Rebbe is now going to speak about where and what aspect of the world is each thing expressed. Hadavar, the first thing, the matter of Aleph as Alufi Shaloilam, that Hashem is the master of the world. Mizbate expressed itself by revealing in all matters of the world, big galus, in galus, as ha'aleph, the alufi shaloilam, the aleph of the master of the world. Meaning, we reveal that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, aluf ha'bal bayis shaloilam v'bi'al, how Hashem is the master of and the boss of the world, and He is in the world. Ha'olam, the world. And world is Olam Yisrael Helam V'Hester. The word Olam is related to the word concealment and covering. Nivra ba'ifin shu mitzad atzmi mechasel. It was created in such a way that on its own it covers godliness. What's the godliness that's covering? As Dvar Hashem shetamid mahava isim mechayim mekayim. The word of Hashem that's constantly bringing it into existence, constantly giving it life, constantly making it be. Avoid the Bnei Yisrael, who, what's the avoid of the Yidden? To reveal in the world how Hashem is the master of the world. Whether we're talking about in the big picture in the world as in general, and also in the details, the specifics of the world. As the pasuk says, I will see your heavens, the actions of your fingers, your the moon and the stars that you set. And that's like in the details of the world, but the big picture. Then it goes even more details. So too also in all the details of the detailed creations that we reveal, the revelation of the one who does, who is making it in the thing that's being made. Through the revelation of the master of the world in Golos, Nif'eles HaGeula becomes affected the redemption. Because the redemption is like we say in the davening on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, because when Moshiach comes, then everything that was made will know that you are the one that made it. That is stage one, that's level one of what we accomplish. In Yanaili Yosef Begilia Aleph, who a higher level in revelation of the Aleph is in the Aleph Meloshen Ulfanu Limut, the idea of the Aleph from the expression learning and teaching. Aleph Chachma, Aleph Chabina. I will teach you Chachma, I will teach you Bina. Gilui halakus begula mitis vashlema yiyah. The revelation of godliness and the true and complete redemption will be nice. In addition to the revelation of godliness in the creation itself, which is the first stage, the master of the world, the way Hashem interacts and runs the world, the effect of the one that made the world is manifest in the world that is made. In addition to that, there'll be also the godliness that's beyond the world, kanal, like we said before. Comes from the aleph, that's the level of intellect, which is the chachma bina, like we said, aleph chachma bina. Chachma bina that will become revealed when Mashiach comes. That is higher than the level of the emotions, Kaviyachol Hashem. The world is built by Hashem's emotional attributes, like it says that the world is built on kindness. So therefore, when Hashem's Chachma Bina is higher than the emotions become revealed, so a part that's an aspect of godliness that's beyond the world comes into the world. Specifically, this is affected through the revelation of Torah. It's revealed after the redemption. The level of the 2,000 years that the Torah preceded the world, like the kids say in the Bar Mitzvah Maimer, Alpayim Gamaloshna Alefcha Alefcha Chachma Alefcha Bina. The word Alpayim, what's it mean? 2,000 years before the creation of the world. There was no time before the creation of the world, but rather, Chassidus explains, Alpayim means two alephes, two alefkos, two levels of intellect. That the level of beyond the world part of Torah, the Chachma Bina part of Torah, that's what's going to become revealed in the world when Mashiach comes. So that's a second level, a second state. Beyond Aluf Shalom, the level of Aleph as Ulfan of a Limud, the part that comes revealed in the world that's beyond the world, the level of Chachma Bin. And afterwards, we reach an even higher level in the Aleph, which is Oisius Pella, the letters that make up the word Pella, wonder. The revelation of wonders in the redemption, like it says, like your days going out of the land of Mitzrayim, I will show you wonders. We always bring down what the Zohar says, the Rebbe always brings down, that it'll be wonders in Mashiach times that will be wondrous even in comparison to the wonders of Mitzrayim. Including and specifically that will be what the wonders that will be revealed is the wonders in the Torah, meaning the hidden and concealed parts of the Torah. Gal einai va'abita neflois from Torah Sacha. Open up my eyes and let me look at the wonders of your Torah. And it says Gal has to do with Lag ba'Omer, the 33rd day of the Omer, which is the yahrzeit of the Shimba Yechai, who revealed the inner part of the Torah. Gal is the word Gilui Pnimius HaTorah, revelation of the inner part of the Torah, Soid Hamel, Mister Tzvunisa, the secrets of its reasons and its concealed parts. That these inner parts of Torah, the wonders of the Torah on their own, are wondrous and separated till a total concealment from the world. V'gam zem is gala, and even that, the highest stage, the third stage, the level of Pella, becomes revealed. The Pella comes down the way that it can be studied. And that Pella comes down even lower, until it even becomes down in that part of Hashem that interacts with the world. Now he's going to bring this in Kabbalah, Chassidus terminology, V'loshna Chassidus, in the terminology of Chassidus, the Spheres Lamaila. These three levels correspond to the Spheres Lamaila as follows. Aleph, the lowest level, Alufish Aloilam, the way Hashem is the master of the world, who connected Spheres HaMalchus, that corresponds to the Sphere of Malchus. It's about Gilui Malchusi Yisbarach V'Olam Echad, the revelation of Hashem's kingship in the world, the level of the name Echad, which is that we know that when we say the word Echad in Kriyas Shema, we're supposed to think Amlichte L'Maylo L'Matal Arba Ruchis, I made him king above and below and to all four sides. So we see that's the idea has to do with Malchus. In a more general state, it's not just connected with spheres of Malchus, but we said Inyan Hamidus, the emotional attributes of Hashem, we said before, is the source for the world. Hashem runs the world based on his different midos. So therefore, the lower stage of the Aleph, the Alufish Aloilam, is going on the level of midos. Second stage, Ulfan of a limud, the study, the teaching, the learning. Alef chachma, alef bina. I will teach you chachma, I'll teach you bina. That's a level of Kaviyach Hashem's divine intellect. Chachma bina, moichin ashiyachim lemidus, the intellect that still has an association with the midas. Shezel amaylam ha'olam. It's beyond the world. Avlim kol zaim haschalo makar loyim. Still in all, since they're connected with the midas. So therefore, they still have some type of beginning and some type of connection and source for the world. Gimel, the third and most highest level in godliness that will be revealed when Mashiach comes. Ella, the level of wonder. It's the level of intellect, chachma on its own, not the way it relates to the emotions. The essence of the intellect. Ad kefishes a kosher im keser until the way it's connected with keser. Ad im primis a keser till the innermost level of keser. The mufla v'nigdal lagamri ma'olam, that it's wondrous and separated totally from the world. And we see this by something else that Chassidus says about our avodah now versus the avodah when Mashiach comes. Yedu, and it's known sheke'eis ikra avodah hi bebira shavim b'mitzvah. At the present, our main avodah is refining and elevating our 7 emotional attributes. That's also obviously seen in the avodah of Sichas Emor, where we break down the midas into 7 parts, 7 times 7. That's the 49 subsections of all the midas, which corresponds to the fact that the Jewish people were given to acquire kibush sheva arotzos. At present, we only conquered 7 of the nations of Canaan. Therefore, it also includes the moichin hashiyachim lemidus. It also includes the intellect that's associated to the emotion with the emotions. As opposed to the true and complete redemption when Mashiach comes, it'll also be the level of intellect, the avoid of the intellect on its own, which is symbolized by what we're going to conquer. When Mashiach comes, kibush sholosh is the conquest of the 3 lands inhabited by the nations of Keni, Knizi, V'Kadmoini, that these represent the 3 intellectual levels that will be revealed when Mashiach comes. So too in the revelation of godliness and the true and complete redemption when Mashiach coming, in addition to the revelation of Hashem's doing, the power of his doing in the thing that's being made, and even the revelation of godliness that's beyond the creation, will also be the revelation of Hashem's essence down here below. Even more so, the power of Hashem's essence will be revealed specifically in the created yesh. In the spiritual worlds, it cannot take the level of atzmus, only in the created yesh. So now, based on this, we will understand how the Aleph inserted into Geulah encompasses all the qualities of Geulah, not just the lowest level of Alufish Aloilam. Oishei, Alpiza moving according to this understood. Chapa'ula shall Geulah, Geulah b'tesefes Aleph, the effect of redemption, which is the word Geulah, with an additional letter Aleph. Leles is called Shloisha, saying Yonim the Giluya Aleph Avodah Begolus. It includes all the 3 matters of the revelation of the Aleph in the Avodah and Golus, which are, what are these 3 things? Alufish Aloilam is one thing that we are doing in our Avodah and Golus, revealing how Hashem runs the world. We're revealing also the level of teaching Ulfana, and we're really revealing and working with the level of Pella, the wonder. Only through, and specifically through our avodah in exile. By inserting the aleph of these 3 types of aleph, alufish aloilam, ulfana, and pella, in the Geulah, That's when the Sichas Hagula, when the redemption is effected. And all the three matters and levels, even the most highest levels, are affected. That the revelation of the power of the doer will be manifest in the thing that's made. That every made thing will know that you made him, which has to do with spheres of mouth. The second level is the revelation of the perfection of the learning and the study of Torah, and which is that's the second level. The revelation of godliness is beyond creation, the level of Hashem's intellect, until we have the revelation of Hashem's wonders, which is the idea of the essential level of intellect, the level of Kesser. So now the Rebbe is going to connect it with the great and unbelievable things about how we're saying how Golus will be so completely transformed.
Did you explain how we could do all these three things before it's actually the revelations here? Because it sounds like it's after the revelation.
By doing Torah mitzvahs, this is what we are accomplishing.
But this is what's going to be. This is what's going to happen in the future. How will we accomplish?
Yeah, but we are accomplishing this, and we are doing this through our avoid of Torah
mitzvah. We actually can make that change before the Geulah happens.
That's the point, exactly. We have to bring that aleph of into the Geulah. So the Rebbe concludes over here. We're not sufficiently satisfied with just bringing the lowest level, the level of the master of the world, godliness. That's Elkus Berach Habriya, the level of godliness that's comparable to the creation. We're bringing that down into the creation. And how do we do so? Through using matters of the world for the sake of heaven and for the sake of knowing Him. But here you're going to see actually examples of those things that we do now to be able to reveal these three different levels. So here the Rebbe says, it's not just enough to reveal the lowest level, the master of the world. That's by using all the things of the world for godliness. Also there in Golus, we are revealing and drawing down the level of learning, the intellect that's connected with the emotions, through Torah study. So that's another thing we're doing now to manifest and bring the second level of the Aleph down. Until even the level of wonders, that we are the ones that are bringing the wonder level down, the third level of the Aleph down, by our study. I limit Pnimis HaTorah and the Floish of the Torah through the study of the inner part of the Torah, the wonders of the Torah. And the Rebbe says, this is what will be discussed later on in the Sicha, Kidlakam and Sivches Ve'elach, like we're going to learn later on in Ois Ches next week. The Rebbe says, we could say as follows. In addition to the study of the inner part of Torah and Golus, this is also the Pella becomes and is revealed through the very descent into Geulah. Revealing in the exile the supernal attention of the intention in the descent. Like it says, in that day, when Moshiach comes, you will say, I thank you, Hashem, that you are angry at me. Seemingly, how can you express, how can you thank for Hashem being angry? Meaning, for Hashem doing the different things that were upsetting. You can't say that thanks is what it says later in the pasuk, that you will turn away your anger and you will comfort me. It's not a complete thanks. If the thanks is only because Hashem turned away his anger, removed his anger, doesn't have to be negating and nullifying the anger, then it would have been much better. It would have been a greater thanks If initially you would not have been angry at me and showed anger to me. From this we must say, the thanks that we give Hashem is specifically and only because you were angry against me. In other words, only because of the negative thing. That explanation this is only through descent in Golus, in a way that it showed Hashem's manifested Hashem's anger. Aliyah the Geula comes about, the ascent of the redemption, until the highest, most ideas in redemption. The revelation of the letter Aleph, the same letters that make up the word Pel of wonder. When we reveal in exile the Aleph of Pella, the supernal intention in it, so then the Oid Hashem, the thanks of Hashem, now becomes revealed in the thing that was upsetting itself. It's specifically thanks for a wondrous thing that's beyond the intellect and wisdom of a person. We can't understand this. Al derech mashakasav, similar to what says, I thank your name because you did a wonder. What is the wonder that I'm thanking you for? It's referring to the length of the exile. That's a wonder. It's completely incomprehensible intellectually. It falls into the category of something that is beyond your understanding, something that's wondrous to you. Do not try to investigate. So even though it's something that's beyond our understanding, but when Moshiach comes, this wonder, this pella, Aleph, the word pella will itself come down in a revealed way. Bechinas kiyasisa, Aleph, the seichel b'chachma, Aleph b'chachma, that you made it. It will be a way of Aleph, that the Aleph shows on something that's intellect, something that's understood. I will teach you chachma. And only through the avoid of overcoming the darkness of the Golus, Magiyim l'shleimus, Hagilui the Pnimis HaTorah Begula Mitzvah Shleima, we reach the completion of the revelation of the inner part of the Torah and the true and complete redemption, where we will see how we could thank Hashem for this, which is totally boggles the mind. We will stop over here, and the Mitzvah Hashem next.